Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play The Raven, Legacy of a Master Thief. When last we left off, Constable Zellner had finally figured out who he believed murdered the Baroness, and was going to, show Legrand his evidence. Unfortunately, the person that he thought had done it knew that he thought he'd done it, and ambushed him on the way out of the medical room. And it was indeed Dr. Gebhardt. Now unconscious, no doubt through chloroform, Constable Zellner could very well be dead. But there is only one way to find out, and that is to start a new game. Because you have to start a new game to go to the next chapter. Starting a new game will result in the autosave file being overwritten. Do we wish to continue? Yes! Let's find out if Constable Zellner survives. And by that loading screen, it looks like he very well might, but it still doesn't look entirely positive, does it? No, it definitely doesn't look like a positive situation.
Why couldn't you just leave it be?
Leave what be?
Let me go.
I don't think he will, Zellner.
Why are you doing this to me?
Doing what?
You and the Baroness. Dr. Gebhardt, I don't know.
We don't.
Don't you understand what you are forcing me to do?
Kind of.
You don't have to.
I think he thinks he must. And then he cleans dust off Zellner's shoulder.
It is almost over. You won't feel a thing.
Oh dear.
I am sorry you have to see all this. I should have used more chloroform.
Oh dear, he is definitely planning to kill us. This, by the way, is the only part of the game where you can, in fact, die. As far as I know, this is the only death scene in the game where Dr. Gebhardt does, in fact, kill you. So let's show that off before we actually do this bit proper. As you can see here, there is a bottle.
Chloroform.
Indeed.
Still partly numb.
Yep. However, there's something in the bowl. We can't, however, reach it because we can't move the wheelchair. But if we put the footrests up, we can reach it. There we go.
A pair of scissors.
We could use those to undo the straps. Let's do it!
Already.
Too late.
Enough of that, Mr. Zellner.
Oh dear.
Soon it will all be behind you.
And that is what happens if you fail. Dr. Gebhardt kills you.
I am sorry you have to see all this. I should have used more chloroform.
Let's do it properly now, shall we? Let us first examine the bottle.
Chloroform. Still partly numb.
And we might as well see if we can try and get our hands free without using the scissors. No. So, we're just going to have to distract the doctor.
I have to distract him.
And we shall do so by having him reveal everything he was planning. Like the use of chloroform.
Chloroform? I had it in my bag, just in case.
That's convenient, Doctor.
You were supposed to be asleep. I am not a monster, you know? I have nothing against you. Nothing at all.
And yet you're trying to kill Zellner.
But what can I do? You forced my hand.
I'm not sure he did.
It's your fault. Yours alone.
You could have just not killed the Baroness? I mean, then I wouldn't have had to investigate, and then you wouldn't be trying to kill me?
Keep talking.
The next question, I suppose, is indeed, why did you murder the Baroness?
Why?
It is a good question.
Why
Why indeed?
Why did the Baroness have to snoop around?
Can't answer that one.
Why did you have to snoop around?
Because you murdered the Baroness?
And that glove there. You want to plant evidence on me, yeah?
Hmm?
I left no evidence. There is no trail. And yet you can't just leave me in peace, can you?
You left plenty of evidence. You left plenty of evidence, Doctor.
On and on.
Only one more thing to ask now. What are you going to do once you've killed Zellner?
And what next? Heart failure.
Oh,
Happens a lot at your age, especially given your background.
you knew about the pills after all.
I am still considering whether I should throw you overboard. Don't leave evidence. No evidence. But what if I'm seen? My plan was perfect. And then you ruined everything.
Well, I think he's suitably distracted. Let's escape. We're gonna go get those scissors. And then we're going to break free. And then...
Pair of scissors.
And then, with us still mostly numb from chloroform, I'm not quite sure what we're going to achieve, but we'll try our best. We can't unfasten the straps even with the scissors in our hands.
A pair of scissors. Hope.
We're going to have to actually cut the straps. Pretty quickly, too. We are free! And now, we shall go get the bottle and attack, so that we can prevent ourselves from dying. Unfortunately, doesn't quite... Yeah. Notice that there, though?
Take it easy, Mr. Zellner.
Really?
You will only hurt yourself.
You're trying to kill us, Gebhardt.
Shall we begin?
No. As far as I know, there's no time limit here. I waited a little while on this screen the first time I played, and there's no time limit here, so let's just grab the syringe. I could be wrong, there might be, but let's just use this syringe.
No, please. It's almost over.
For you, Gebhardt!
I will. Are you okay?
I've heard that voice before in this game, but the question is, where? We're alive! Or we're not. Oh no, we blinked, we're alive. Hooray!
Thanks.
Yay!
A wet towel works miracles. I told you so.
Out with it then. What were you doing down there?
Inspector, at least let the constable recover his breath.
He almost killed himself.
Me? No. Dr. Gebhardt would have taken care of that for me. Where is he?
Good question.
Gebhardt? He's vanished without a trace. We're searching the ship from top to bottom.
Oh.
One at a time. Tell me, Zellner, what did you find out?
Dr. Gebhardt killed Baroness von Trebitz.
Yep.
Impossible.
Nope.
Do you have proof?
Besides the fact that he wanted to kill me?
But wasn't the doctor with you when the shot was fired?
Yes, but the shot came from the tape.
The shot that we heard was a recording. The Baroness had a tape recorder and good speakers in her cabin. Good enough to make the noise audible on the upper deck.
Is that just your suspicion, or do you have proof?
Well, there is the audio tape in the medical facility.
There's an audio tape in the medical center.
Yep.
The reel belongs to the tape player in the Baroness's cabin.
Indeed.
And there's a sibling reel in her cabin that belongs to the recorder in the medical center. After a few minutes, there's a loud bang on the audio tape. That's our gunshot.
Where did Gebhardt get it from?
He recorded it in the cargo hold.
He did.
His tape recorder has a microphone, and I removed a bullet from one of the boxes down there.
And it came from the murder weapon?
It did.
Yes. I compared it to the other bullet in the inspector's cabin.
You did.
Of course you did.
You did.
All right.
Ah, hello, Oliver.
Inspector Legrand.
He's a bit busy.
Let's pretend you're onto something.
Well, I am.
The shot we heard was just a recording. What happened next?
We all ran to the Baroness's cabin.
We did.
She lay comatose in a pool of blood. Dr. Gebhardt pushed past you so that you couldn't get too close to the Baroness. He examined her and pronounced her dead. There was no reason for us to doubt him. The shot, the blood, the Baroness lying there lifelessly.
Yep.
But she was only unconscious, knocked out by the chloral hydrate that the doctor had poured into her glass shortly before.
Exactly.
The doctor had a glass in his hand when you came in.
He wanted to remove the evidence, but you gave me the glass instead, Captain DeConti, and unintentionally knocked me out as well.
Nonsense. There was blood everywhere. And the Baroness is certainly dead enough, isn't she?
Then who did shoot her? And when?
The doctor in the cabin, of course. Shot her later.
As I already said, it was Dr. Gebhardt. He shot the sleeping Baroness in her cabin, barely 10 meters away from us.
Yep.
What are you saying?
The doctor was alone in the cabin for a while. When the alarm went off, it was deafening. I couldn't even hear myself.
Indeed.
And I found a pillow with burn marks. Could have been used to muffle a gunshot.
And the blood?
The blood wasn't real.
It wasn't.
Dr. Gebhardt mixed up a liquid that looked like fresh blood to the casual observer.
Indeed.
But the liquid remained red instead of becoming darker and browner from exposure to the air. That meant he had to clean the body and get rid of the bedding.
But the blood was already there when we first entered the cabin.
Dr. Gebhardt was in the Baroness's cabin before the murder.
He was.
He hid a surgical glove full of the red liquid under her sheet. The Baroness, dead tired, fell onto her bed.
Yep.
The glove burst, and the blood spread across the bed. I found the burst glove in the medical center.
But why did he do it? What was his motive?
Inspector?
He's a bit busy. I can only speculate at this point. I don't think it was about the Eye of the Sphinx. I don't think it's that. I can only speculate.
I can only speculate. The Baroness spent the day rummaging through her old family photos.
Indeed.
And in her diary, she wrote about deceased family members. I suspect it had something to do with their fates during the war. The Baroness wrote a warning on her notepad. There is a murderer on board.
Yep.
I don't have proof, but I believe that the Baroness held Dr. Gebhardt responsible for the deaths of her relatives and wanted to confront him in front of all of us. The doctor couldn't allow that to happen, and so he silenced her.
Makes sense.
No, no, no.
Do you have anything to contribute, Constable?
Oh? The letter?
Confession, sir.
Really? Really?
Dr. Gebhardt was the Raven.
Really?
It's all here. He admits to everything.
What does it say?
It says, "Do you still remember, my dear Nico? The streets were wet with rain, and the scent of roasted barley and fermenting yeast wafted over to us from the brewery.
Oh.
The dog barked until your shot struck down the innocent one. After that silence,
Oh.
not a single sound, except for my soft steps fading on the wet cobblestone street. They made a hero of you, and I, at last, found peace. At least until the urge returned. Some of us are not made for retirement, my friend. I thought they would assign this case to you, and that thought pleased me. We'd finally find out who was truly the better man.
Oh.
And it pains me now to have to admit that you and your little gumshoe got the better of me. You drove me into a corner, forced me to make mistakes.
Oh.
I congratulate you on your triumph, but no one will confine the Raven to a cage. There is but one way out, and that is by my own hand. Farewell, Raven Hunter. R.
Inspector Legrand.
Something seems wrong with that. New pictures unlocked. Something seems very wrong with that. Just doesn't add up. At least to me, anyway. Doesn't fit the profile.
Inspector?
I was right. I told them all, over and over again. But no one would listen.
Dr. Gebhardt.
You think that Dr. Gebhardt was really the Raven?
I don't.
The things Gebhardt describes in his letter aren't part of any police report. Only someone who was there would know them.
Couldn't there have been others involved? One of the police, for instance. What if one of them changed sides?
Why is it so hard for you to accept the simple truth? There was never a new Raven. There was only ever the old one. And that was Dr. Gebhardt.
The modus operandi doesn't match. The Raven was not a killer.
Indeed.
Legends are rarely what they seem to be, Constable Zellner.
Fair enough. What about the dead man?
Then who was the man who was killed back then?
William Jackson, a petty thief.
Oh.
Committed some burglaries together with his brother. Talented, but not world-class.
And they thought he was the Raven.
Some people thought it was part of his disguise. If you're a debonair master thief, what better disguise than pretending to be a common crook?
True.
From time to time you let them catch you pulling small jobs, and no one ever imagines you're capable of a major heist.
But you didn't believe it.
I had my doubts, but everyone congratulated me, and those doubts were pushed aside. It was like being caught in a storm, but eventually the storm passed and my doubts were still there.
But not this time? No doubts telling you that Gebhardt isn't our man?
It must be him.
Must it? Must it be him?
What about the handwriting, the wording? Does the farewell letter match the Raven's other letters?
Yes, it's his handwriting, his words. I've read all the Raven's letters, all of them, over and over again.
I never thought it was possible. A resurrected Raven.
The Raven was never dead. I shot the wrong man.
But that man had the stolen goods, didn't he? So he must have been in league with the Raven. One could hardly call him innocent. Where do we go from here?
We deliver the eye and then I'll contact Paris. A task force will compare all of Gebhardt's known residences with the Raven's activity.
And if there are any inconsistencies?
You're welcome to keep an eye on the safe if you can't let it go. The ship will remain in Cairo for 1 day. That's all the time you'll have to catch your own Raven. I already have mine.
I still think he's got the wrong man. Don't think it was Gebhardt. Do not think it was Gebhardt. Just doesn't make any sense to Zellner. And now we're in Egypt. Hello.
Ah, you're one of Legrand's men, aren't you?
My name is Anton Jakob Zellner.
Hello.
You've come just in time. Grace, my dachshund is missing.
Oh?
There may be more important matters for me to attend to, Mr.
Director Abbas Mokhtar.
Hello.
And Grace isn't just a common dog. She's a purebred German dachshund, a champion.
Well, when we come back, folks, we shall talk about the theft of the eye and Inspector Legrand. And it's quite obvious that Legrand believes he's got who he needs to get. But Zellner still is not convinced. And I shall catch you then, folks. See you then. Later. Also, notice that says the eye of the Sphinx, not the eyes. The eye. Oh dear. See you then, folks. Later.